Damn. We got a video by Johnny Arna. Damn, the dawn of a new era. Kinda. Let's go ahead and see it. Obviously, this has to do with Wemby. Getting to the NBA Finals at his age. He's gonna play against Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. How do you guys feel about that? It's definitely something big, for him. People say he's on goal trajectory. Damn.
So last night, we saw a classic 7-game series finally come to an end.
Yeah.
As the San Antonio Spurs defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 111-103. And I gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen social media that unified against one basketball team. It seemed like everyone outside of Oklahoma was rooting strongly against the Thunder. Despite all the chatter that's been going on about OKC being a dynasty, the era of parity continues, as we will once again have a new champion in the NBA, meaning that the league hasn't seen back-to-back champions since the Golden State Warriors in 2017 and 2018.
Damn.
Now, as far as the Thunder, we have to ask, what should they do? If they had won the championship,
It's
then
crazy. These guys, they were on trajectory to pass the 2016 Golden State Warriors record. Highly favored to repeat, and now they're out of the playoffs. Damn, it's crazy. Honestly, I think they probably came the closest for real to actually repeating again. Like the Warriors did 2017, 2018. But damn, it's crazy, man.
it would have made sense for them to run it back, pay the luxury tax, and just ride this wave as long as they could. But now, after the loss, it might be time to make some adjustments. Especially
Damn,
because
some trades are gonna happen. Damn.
That the Spurs are only going to get better, and so is Victor Wembanyama, who is still only 22 years old and is on the verge of winning his first NBA championship. As the game was ending, I was texting a friend of mine and I was saying, I think Western Conference teams are going to start making offseason moves to deal with Victor Wembanyama. Like making specific signings and drafting specific players with the idea that they will be the guys who slows Victor down.
Yeah, like there's gonna be, bro. Exactly. Now there's a picture of Shaq. That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, come on, man. Like there's gonna be teams out there being built just to stop him specifically. Just like they had, when Shaq was playing, in the early 2000s, bro. They had teams in the league built specifically to stop him. Like, damn. Ish.
It's going to be the same way they did it with Shaquille O'Neal in the early 2000s, as Portland, Sacramento, and San Antonio were all acquiring bodies to deal with that monster.
Yeah.
Now, it's got to be said, we still have to see what happens with Giannis. And I know this sounds like ridiculous pie in the sky, but if he does end up getting traded, then there's probably no team in a better position to get him than the Thunder. The question is, do they think they should go all in on this idea? With all the ways the season played out, they could be willing to trade either Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren, but they also have a wealth of quality draft picks over the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no easy answer for dealing with Wemby, but bringing in Giannis would certainly give them strength to go with the length. Not to mention the fact that he's freaking Giannis. So on the offensive end, he could also be creating problems while bringing some of the attention away from SGA. But again, that's just one of the theories of how they might respond, but they're going to have to do some things because when you look at their roster and at their salary situations, that second apron is going to be hitting them hard, especially for a team that is no longer the NBA champions. Now let's look at the two teams still involved, the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. And it seems like the vast majority...
How do you guys think it's going to turn out for the Thunder, yo?
No longer the NBA champions. Now let's look at the two teams still involved, the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. And it seems like the vast majority of basketball fandom is very excited about this matchup. What I love about this series is regardless of who wins, we'll be witnessing some crazy history. On one hand, if the New York Knicks win, then it'll be the first time they've been NBA champions for more than half a century. But on the other
Damn.
hand, if the San Antonio Spurs win, then you'll be looking at a superstar player in Victor Wembanyama, who might already be the best player in the NBA today, and he's only 22 years old. He would also be immortalized in San Antonio Spurs lore as one of their all-time great big men.
It's crazy how San Antonio keeps getting lucky, with those, first round picks, literally. Like David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and now Wemby, bro. Crazy, man. They keep getting lucky, bro.
Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to come to grips with the fact that one of these things will become a reality. Like, either scenario just sounds goofy and hard to believe. To be fair, I usually feel that way with the teams involved in the NBA Finals. It was hard for me to believe that OKC could be NBA champions before it actually happened. It was hard for me to believe that the Boston Celtics were pulling ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers for the most titles in franchise history, and so on and so forth. But this situation feels even more crazy. A 22-year-old superstar who is legitimately on a GOAT candidate trajectory, or the New York Knicks being NBA champions.
That's facts. Hey, the city that never sleeps, and on top of that, a guy who's on GOAT trajectory, literally. He's coming for LeBron and MJ.
My mind is getting blown either way.
Literally, bro. Either way, literally.
People are assuming that this will be an easy series for San Antonio, since a lot of people think that the Western Conference is vastly superior to the East. But
this is true, but honestly, I don't see neither of these teams getting swept. It's gonna be at least 5 games, Like, I think I'll go in depth into this, when game 1 happens on Wednesday. But for now, I'm predicting. I'll say that the Knicks will win at least a game, but at most 2. But yeah, I got the Spurs, and ultimately in that series and in 6. But yeah.
Don't be so sure. The Knicks have looked excellent, and not only did they cruise through the Eastern Conference, but they also looked pretty good against San Antonio during the regular season. Now, as I mentioned before in the OKC series, the regular season is usually a pretty good indicator of what to expect in the playoffs. And these two teams were very competitive in the regular season. As is the norm for out-of-conference competition, they played each other twice this year, and each team took their home game. San Antonio won by 2 on their floor, and New York won by a whopping 25 points in Madison Square Garden. And before you ask, yes, San Antonio was completely healthy for that matchup. I could be wrong, but if you ask me, I think we're in for a dogfight and a really good series. Personally, I'm taking San Antonio in 6 games, but I do think it's going to be a tough 6 games.
Yeah, it's tough 6 games. Yeah, that's the thing. Just because a series ends in 5 or 6 doesn't mean it's an easy one. Like every victory can be definitely hard fought. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a dogfight. I agree with that. Yeah, like those wins that San Antonio are gonna have to get. They're not going to come by easily. They're going to have to fight for them. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm predicting. Yeah.
Fan, I probably am rooting for the Knicks, so I would be very happy to be wrong. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win the NBA Finals, and in how many games? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to the members for supporting the channel.
Those wins are going to be hard. They're going to be hard to come by. But damn, this is it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. You let me know down there what you think about this.